points for Gryffindor. Harry Potter. Back then it was like you separated the schools, they were separated like Gryffindor and Slytherin. You never really seen
All right. Welcome, everyone. It is my pleasure to introduce the Washington University Amateurs, a student-run co-educational a cappella choir who will be singing the University Alma Mater. A copy of the lyrics is on the back of your Convocation program. Please rise and remove all hats for the singing of the Alma Mater. Ladies and gentlemen, the Washington University Amateurs.
Sweet to me, our hearts are all for thee, fair Washington. Thy hall shall honored be throughout this great country, for all eternity, our Washington. Those days of youth which all of us spent with thee, form a dear history, fair
Good evening. My name is Lori White, and I am the Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs at Washington University. And it is my pleasure to welcome the class of 2021, students joining the class of 2020 and 2019, and exchange students. Welcome to all of you and to all of the family members who have joined us here this evening. Now, in a former life, I used to be a cheerleader. So I loved hearing all the chants and cheers representing the various residential colleges. However, since we're all here to celebrate our newest Washington University Bears, and we are seated in the athletic complex where our 22 national championship banners are flying high, they're right up above you, how about we start off this convocation by showing our Wash U spirit, all right? How's that sound? Woo! So this side, you all are going to be Go, and this side, you all are going to be Bears. And when I point to your section, I want to hear really loudly, Go Bears. Y'all got that? All right. 1, 2, 3. And those of you who I spot on campus wearing Wash U swag on campus, you're going to get a card good for a free cup of coffee on me. And those who I sport wearing swag from another school on campus, well, you better hope I don't catch you doing that. Yeah, boo. Now, just 2 years ago, I too was brand new to Washington University, having joined the university in the summer of 2015. This year, I'm a rising junior. So first-year students, I know a little bit more about Washington University than you do, but not a whole lot more. And as part of my tradition or transition to Wash U, I've appreciated the advice from students like the Woosas about how to best navigate all of the wonderful things that Washington University and the city of St. Louis have to offer. As the Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs, my role is to work with my colleagues across the campus community to help ensure that your transition to Washington University is smooth and seamless. All of us at Wash U, your professors, academic advisors, the deans in your schools, coaches, administrators, and staff, RCDs, RAs, and Woosas, look forward to getting to know each one of you by name and by story. As you begin your life at Washington University, you're going to receive advice from many of us about how to ensure that your time at Wash U is successful and that you're able to realize your hopes and your dreams for a college education. My advice is simple. Number one, pursue your passion. Not that kind of passion. You might pursue that here, but that's not my responsibility. I mean that I want you to pursue your academic passion. Find a field of study that you're excited about and resolve to put all of your time and energy into being an engaged and intellectually curious student. Second, develop a wide circle of friendships while you're here. Wash U has students from all across the country and the world. Your education will be enriched by learning something from someone who is different from a neighborhood like the one in which you grew up. And finally, keep everything in perspective. I'm reminded of a letter a first-year student wrote to her parents, telling them all about how she broke her leg jumping from her residence hall balcony due to a fire, that she moved in with a boyfriend that was the same age as her parents, and she found a new religion to explore a whole new way of life. Turns out nothing in the letter was true, but the student had received her first semester grades. which were 2 A's, a B, and a D. And she wanted her parents to keep everything in perspective. So speaking of perspective, this past summer has been a trying time for our nation and the world as we have witnessed and experienced tragedy at home and abroad. Know that at WashU, we are, as a community, are committed to mutual respect, tolerance, civility, and caring for one another. As you matriculate into this wonderfully diverse community that is WashU, I hope that you will ask yourself, what can I do to make a difference toward creating a world where every human being feels valued, regardless of race, gender, religion, sexual orientation, nationality, or political perspective. And I know that that will be a recurring theme amongst the speakers this evening. Now, advice aside, my most important role this evening is to recognize those individuals who are most responsible for the planning and implementation of the Bare Beginnings program. First, the staff of the First Year Center, Catherine Pay, Andrea Farnan, and Reggie Gackett. Are you all here? Can you wave? Okay, great. The three of them have worked closely with the First Year Executive Board to plan an amazing Bare Beginnings program for you. The First Year Center, which most of you passed today when you were moving into your new residential college on the South 40, is located right on the South 40 across from the BD. Oh, great. I'm going to introduce these folks in a while. And the First Year Center is charged with locating resources, finding opportunities, and connecting you with people, places, and possibilities. Now I'd like to introduce all the folks who are up here on the stage right next to me, the Student Executive Board. This incredible group of student leaders has worked countless hours to ensure that your welcome to the Washington University community is one that is warm, informative, and fun, and one that sets you up for success as a WashU student. The members of the Exec Board and the residential and student communities to which each is assigned are Jessie Lee Doughton Hurd Myers. Cheer for Jessie. Amelia Grumbach Lean. Farah Hashim Elliott. Natalie Klug Umrath. Jacob Cantrell Lebo. Karina Yan Koenig. Jadine Sonoda Park. Helen Scarrett, transfer and exchange students. Let's all clap. Sam Pointer Danforth. Catherine Ingersoll Dardick. And the last two folks I'm going to introduce served as respectively the pre-orientation chair and the SOAR chair. So Mariel Ehrlich and Yasmin Janizikov. So thank you, Exec Board, for all that you do to make Bare Beginnings the memorable beginning that it is. Now, it is both my privilege and my pleasure to introduce you to your Student Union President, Sydney Robinson. Sydney is a junior from Alpharetta, Georgia. Any Georgians in the house? She's a pre-law student studying political science in the College of Arts and Sciences with a second major in leadership and strategic management from the Olin Business School, and she is also working toward a major in Swahili. As your student body president, Sydney oversees the undergraduate student government, the Student Union. With over 150 active officers, Student Union works to allocate $3.4 million to nearly 400 student groups, advocating for student needs and student programming on campus. Sydney's been involved with Student Union since her first semester at WashU. She's also been a member of the club softball team, and outside of WashU, she's interned with the Department of Veterans Affairs and has also worked with a ministry called Care for AIDS in Nairobi, Kenya. WashU is most fortunate to have this outstanding and accomplished leader as the Student Union President. Please join me in welcoming Sydney Robinson to the podium.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. White. Once again, welcome to the new transfer and exchange students and to the class of 2021 as you begin your journey here at WashU. I am honored to serve as your student body president for the coming year and to serve as tonight's Master of Ceremonies. Before I introduce the next speaker, I'd like to give you my piece of advice as you begin your time here, and that is to embrace the holistic experience of college. I'm sure most of you have had someone in your life tell you that college will be the best years of your life. Well, I'm still here, so I'm not exactly qualified to say whether or not that's true, but I can tell you that the time I've spent here so far has been absolutely incredible. And one of the reasons why that is because college is immersive, okay? Everything changes. You get to explore new intellectual topics, you have more freedom than you've ever had before, and you're exposed to new opportunities and challenges outside of the classroom that help you grow into who you want to be. It's really an incredible experience. Unfortunately, however, we live in a world today that seeks to define who we are based solely on quantitative achievements. You are so much more than that. Embrace this stage of life holistically. Push yourself in what you do and be proud of what you accomplish, but also take the time to grow in who you are. Embrace the most authentic sides of yourself. Ask yourself, who do you want to be? What are you passionate about? How do you want to give back? All right, so work hard, have some fun, and in 4 years, be able to walk across the stage being proud of what you've accomplished and of who you are. It is now an honor to introduce our next speaker of the evening. Mark S. Wrighton assumed the duties of Chancellor at Washington University in July of 1995, following over 2 decades at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, where he was a professor of chemistry and later provost. Since Mark Wrighton's arrival, Washington University has made unprecedented progress in academic curriculum, campus involvement, resource development, international reputation, and particularly the undergraduate applications and student quality. It is a pleasure to introduce to you Chancellor Mark S. Wrighton, the 14th Chancellor of Washington University in St. Louis.
Thank you, Sydney, and thanks to all of our student leaders for your important contributions to our community. To the class of 2021, welcome to Washington University. Also, welcome to new students transferring from other colleges and universities. And welcome also to family and friends of our new students. You are all now members of the Washington University family. I know that there are parents, other family members, and friends of our new students watching in the Danforth University Center, Edison Theater, the May Auditorium, and Graham Chapel. Thank you for being with us, and I look forward to seeing you at the conclusion of this convocation in the Brookings Quadrangle. All new students will proceed from here at the conclusion to the Brookings Quadrangle, and the parents will meet us there. The parents will have an important role in this procession, and I look forward to seeing you all for a special treat as we wrap up our evening. Let me now address our new students. You have been admitted to Washington University because you have the potential to be the leaders of the 21st century. Your leadership at Washington University begins tonight. We are experiencing regional, national, and international challenges that we must address together as a community of leaders and learners. The events in Charlottesville, Virginia, in particular, trouble me greatly. In a public communication to our community just 10 days ago, I condemned the hate-filled ideology that we witnessed in Charlottesville. Let me be clear. Let me be clear. Our Washington University community will not tolerate racism, hatred, prejudice, or bigotry. Indeed, in the face of such hate-filled ideologies, we will continue our efforts to be more inclusive, more accepting, and more welcoming to all who join us. And we will continue our proactive work to be more diverse in all parts of the university, faculty, students, and staff. You represent a diverse group of exceptionally talented people who've already accomplished a great deal, and you are poised to do so much more. Thank you for making the commitment to be a part of this community and to helping us to become a greater university, a university that embraces our differences but is united against bigotry and hate. However utopian we become here at Washington University, we must also confront the reality that there are people who have embraced ideological views that are truly abhorrent. The United States of America allied with many nations to confront Nazism in the 1940s. Today, we must have the courage to confront the neo-Nazism movement that threatens us from within as well as from abroad. I am reminded of the wisdom and strength of Abraham Lincoln, who said, quote, "Be sure you put your feet in the right place, then stand firm," end quote. Let us stand together in the right place. While at Washington University, you will be challenged with opinions, ideas, and proposed actions that run counter to your own views. Indeed, we expect you to be intellectually challenged. Respectful debate of the issues that confront us and discussion of how best to solve the problems we face should be an important part of your educational experience. My expectation is that we will all remain respectful of one another as we address the difficult issues. As we begin our fall semester, we're going to gather next Wednesday afternoon, August 30th, at 3:30 p.m. in Graham Chapel. We will affirm our community values and commit to achieving social justice and peace. I hope that you will take time to join in that program. Every new student has my pledge that the administration and faculty will do our best to help you realize your potential and to provide the education you need to be effective in leadership roles. You may well become a Nobel Prize winner, a corporate CEO, a United States Senator, or a great artist like students who have preceded you. You are the next generation of leaders this world needs. Tonight, you can begin asking yourself this important question: what can I do? Your class is 1,780 students, plus or minus. You were selected from a large and talented applicant pool, indeed the largest in the university's history. You come from 49 states, Washington, D.C., Puerto Rico, and 22 countries. About 2/3 of you come from greater than 500 miles. We're proud of the diversity you represent in every dimension. You have excelled in your lives in many ways, from academics to athletics, from theater to public service. We encourage you to continue the interests you developed earlier in your lives. To the parents, thank you for supporting your sons and daughters in their decision to attend Washington University. We share your interest in having your sons and daughters enjoy success and happiness, and we are your partners in assisting them to realize the dreams of a great college experience. Like the students, you are now a part of this community, and we welcome your engagement. I look forward to meeting many of you at the reception that I will host tomorrow afternoon in the Frick Forum in the Knight and Bauer Halls of the John M. Olin School of Business. To all, the campus is undergoing some important redevelopment. East of the building where my office is located, Brookings Hall, we're planning for an 800-car underground parking garage, the Summers Welcome Center, the Chinook Pavilion for Dining and Environmental Studies, Weil Hall for the Fox School, Jubal Hall for Mechanical Engineering and Materials Science, an expanded Mildred Lane Kemper Art Museum, ultimately re-landscaping, and a year from now, we're going to start McKelvey Hall for Computer Science and Computer Engineering. All of these projects, with the exception of McKelvey Hall, which will be a year behind, all of these projects, with the exception of McKelvey, will be finished by the end of April 2019. So the class of 2021 will enjoy a more beautiful, safer, and expanded campus in terms of academic programs. In just 4 months, the John M. Olin Library will be finished in connection with its redevelopment, and it will be used in January, your second semester. Bryan Hall, being redeveloped for the Department of Chemistry, will also be completed by the end of this first semester. I beg your patience as the campus improvements are taking some time and will ultimately be a reward, but there are some complications in the meantime. Back to the students. You're going to have many academic opportunities here, but you'll also have many exciting other activities, including athletics, seminars, performances, and social events. There are more than 200 student groups, and I encourage you to become involved, but these activities will require a commitment of time. With respect to how you spend your time, things have changed dramatically for you. It's already been mentioned. This starts tonight. Just a few months ago, most of you were in high school with a relatively structured and controlled schedule. Tonight, you begin a new phase of your life with more independence and freedom, but with that freedom comes responsibility. Beginning immediately, you will have many choices to make. We're confident that you can do well and be successful, but realize that your success will depend on making good choices. Your new freedom means you're no longer under anyone's immediate supervision. Your parents are no longer responsible, except for those tuition checks, please. Students, you have responsibility for yourself. There will be no one to tell you when to go to bed or when or whether to get up. No one to tell you to make your bed, no one to tell you to eat your vegetables, no one to govern your comings and goings. You will be the one to decide who your friends will be and whether to join a Greek organization, and you will be the judge of when and whether to accept advice from others. You should enjoy your new independence, but there are also important responsibilities beyond those to yourself. You remain responsible to those who've made it possible for you to be here, your parents, other family members, teachers, coaches, religious leaders, and your friends. The excellence of students and faculty of the university defines us. For many, this may be the very first time you've been completely surrounded by so many high achievers like yourself. In these early days, you may be intimidated by the fact that your classmates are as smart and accomplished in their area of interest as you are in yours. I believe those feelings are natural, but you will soon find that you're not in competition with your classmates. Your own goals should be your guideposts. As I conclude my remarks, I want to give you some important advice. Number one, go to class. You or your parents are paying a great deal for the opportunity to be here. Take full advantage of your educational program. Number two, do not abuse alcohol or other drugs. Missouri is not Colorado. The legal age for drinking in Missouri is 21 years. None of us can exercise good judgment when intoxicated, and we know that alcohol abuse is associated with adverse academic performance and is a factor in greater than 90% of campus crime. Most of your peers are making wise choices about alcohol, and the vast majority of our students drink moderately, if at all. Students, I challenge you to make wise choices during your college years. Make decisions that will have a positive impact on you personally and on the university community. You have my wish, indeed you have my support for your success here at Washington University. I'm privileged to serve as your chancellor, and I look forward to our work together. Thank you very much. We have a great many people supporting our students. They include our parents. And it's my pleasure to introduce you to two very special parents, Deborah and George Buzales. They are the Parents' Council co-chairs from Victoria, Texas. Deborah and George have been part of the Washington University community since 2010, when their eldest daughter, Amanda, arrived on campus as a first-year student. 7 years ago, I'm not sure that Deborah and George realized that Amanda's entrance would mark the beginning of a great family tradition. Tonight's celebration is the 5th convocation for the Buzales family. From eldest to youngest, all 5 of the Buzales children have made Washington University their college home. Amanda graduated with the class of 2014. Jacqueline graduated with the class of 2016. Theodore is a member of the class of 2018. Hannah is a member of the class of 2019. They timed this so well. And Stephanie is here with the incoming class of 2021. Four of the 5 have pursued degrees through College of Arts and Sciences, and the 5th is inclined in that direction as well. Deborah and George have been especially involved with the Washington University community, as you understand. We appreciate their enthusiasm, their support, and their dedication. They have been great members of our Parents Advisory Council. I'd like Deborah and George to please stand and for George to come forward to make a few remarks. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chancellor Wrighton. On behalf of the Parents' Council, my wife, Debbie, and I would like to welcome our fellow parents and families to Washington University. Now, to you students, I do have a confession to make to start with. I am jealous of your position here as an incoming freshman at WashU. As a medical student at Hopkins, there was a particular group of my classmates who were better prepared, academically and socially more mature, and now 25 years later are amongst the most successful physicians in the country. And all had one thing in common. All were WashU undergrads. So yes, I am jealous of the advantage you will have. You will have an advantage in life whether you choose medicine, art, history, law, engineering, whatever career path you choose, you will always have an intangible advantage over your peers. You are at a university committed to your success. Now to you parents, I also have a confession to make. most of the things that you and I did for our children to help them academically achieve did not. All the extra reading we did to them when they were young, the field trips to the museums, the early educational intervention, the SAT prep courses, all statistically did not correlate with our students' academic success. So what made our kids academically excel? Well, according to the Early Childhood Longitudinal Study by the U.S. Department of Education, one of the strongest correlates to having smart kids is marrying a smart spouse. So, turn to your significant other and thank them. Your wise choices over 18 years ago have enabled your child to succeed and achieve. And second, just relax. Know that the most important thing you could have done for your child you did years ago. They are on a trajectory to succeed despite any of our plans. Now, like you, we were privileged to be here for Convocation 7 years ago when our oldest Amanda entered WashU, and now she's still here at WashU, but across the park as a fourth-year medical student. And 2 years later, our second child, Jacqueline, entered WashU and now is beginning her second year of medical school back home in Texas. Our third child, our son Theodore, will be a senior this year with a philosophy, neuroscience, psychology major. Our fourth child, Hannah, will be a junior as a biology major with a Spanish minor. And lastly, thank God, our youngest, Stephanie, is here as a member of the freshman class, and we are finally empty nesters. So now, why do we want our family to come to WashU? Well, yes, there are the superior academics, the endless opportunities, but most of all, you will find the WashU family treat your family like family. So relax and know that your kids will thrive in the WashU environment. Now, I do have a few suggestions to help my fellow parents have a rewarding experience here at WashU. First of all, accept the distance from your child. Not only now is there a physical separation, but also a developmental separation as they mature into autonomous adults. Our role as parents is to continue supporting our students as they grow and learn, but from now on, our support will be at a distance and likely involve texting, Skyping, and Snapchatting. To the new students, because of that separation, please keep in touch with your family. And most importantly, once in a while, call your mother. Now, parents, this is our best advice. Just stay calm, take a deep breath, and have faith in the wonderful young adults that you've raised. Again, know that your kids will thrive in the WashU environment. Remember, our children are now young adults and need to advocate for themselves. Secondly, parents, stay in touch with the campus. You will regularly receive correspondence from the university. The parents' calendar has helpful information. Browse the parents' webpage of the WashU website. Sign up for the quarterly parents' e-newsletter, Family Ties. Take advantage of the orientation events this weekend, and please come back for Parents and Family Weekend in October. Third, parents, consider how you'd like to become involved. The university truly welcomes parent participation. Your time and expertise could benefit our students. Reach out to the Career Center if you or someone you know can provide summer internships or jobs for graduates, or even introductions to firms that might be interested in hiring the best educated young adults in America. Volunteer for the Alumni and Parents Admissions Program to help recruit prospective students. Attend the WashU events in your hometown. And again, visit the parents page of the WashU website and click on the link, Get Involved. Now finally, look around. Your child is not alone here at WashU. Feel good. This is the right time and place to let go. These outstanding students are beginning this journey together. They share the same excitement, sense of adventure, and unlimited opportunity. Know that the upperclassmen will embrace them and help them find their way. The WashU family is absolutely committed to providing all students with the resources and support they need to succeed. So, on behalf of the Parents Council, Debbie and I welcome you to our community, Washington University. We're delighted that you're here. Thank you.
All right. It's now my pleasure to introduce to you our student speaker of the evening. Molly Brodsky is a senior in the College of Arts and Sciences. She is double majoring in women, gender, and sexuality studies and anthropology with a minor in writing. After leaving her hometown of Fair Lawn, New Jersey, Molly took a gap year in northern Israel studying Judaic studies before starting here at WashU. She is a Gephardt Institute Civic Scholar, a TA for ecofeminism, and currently conducting research on the relationship between gender and agriculture. In her time here at WashU, she's actually served as my WUSA freshman year on UMRATH 4, a residential advisor in Liggett, a member of Student Union, and the co-president and PRIO leader of the Burning Kumquat. She is also involved in planning the Trans-Spectrum Conference, Strength and Honor Tutoring at the Ferguson Community Center, and Jewish Life on Campus. It is my pleasure to introduce to you my good friend and this year's student speaker, Molly Brodsky.
Thanks, Sydney. Hi, guys. How are y'all doing? Okay, good. That sounds good. So welcome to all staff, faculty, parents and families, RAs, WUSAs, and of course, welcome transfer students, exchange students, and the class of 2021. So I'm Molly, and I am really honored and excited to be in front of you tonight. I'm so excited that I kind of want to share a secret with all of you. Okay, here it goes. I got this. I love semicolons. like I really love semicolons. I'll back up for a moment. I know most people don't call out their love for punctuation marks, and most of you probably don't have a favorite punctuation mark. That's okay too, but I do. My freshman year, I was about to get back my first college paper, my first ever college paper, all marked up and ready to rework and edit, ready to recreate the blood, sweat, and hours spent in Olin Library. And I received that paper back. We peer edited them. And as expected, it was all marked up. There were comments in the margins just as I had expected. But then I looked a bit closer and there were these red circles everywhere. And they surrounded the semicolons. I guess you are not supposed to use 10 per paragraph. I've learned that now. And I didn't think much about it. But then I received another paper back a few weeks later, and then another, all with different peer readers, but all with similar comments. I realized that maybe a bit more thought was necessary. What was it with me and semicolons? I've definitely learned to cut back on them in my writing and to keep them for only the most significant of moments. Because you see, semicolons are sacred to me. They don't take over my papers anymore, but they still take up my headspace. I think this semicolon does something pretty magical. It takes these two entities, two complete parts that are already whole on their own, and it smushes them together. You really could have two sentences, but no, the semicolon transforms each part into a puzzle piece. We've all heard Aristotle's famous words, "A whole is greater than the sum of its parts." But I'm sorry, Aristotle, I think the semicolon takes it a step further. The whole becomes greater, but each side, it's also enhanced by this newfound partnership. Each side makes the other more significant and stronger on its own. It's this crazy symbiotic relationship going on. My freshman year at my first floor meeting, which I'm sure you all had not too long ago, my RAs announced that we were going to play this game. It was called Link. How it worked, someone would get in the middle of the room and make a statement about themselves. And if it applied to you too, you'd scream Link and run in and link arms. So when my now best friend went in the middle and said the famous words, "I love dragon tails," I obviously had to scream Link. We linked up arms, and in that moment, we became two pieces of the same whole. We became two pieces of the same community. Our arms were linked around each other, kind of like a semicolon. We began to build this dragon tails loving community, but at the same time, we welcomed the opportunity to be shaped by that very creation. It was cyclical. To invest yourself in those around you and simultaneously let them invest in you is to become something that is both inspired and inspiring. To shape and to shift, and then to be molded by those very influences. To approach all you see and hear and feel with a critical lens, and then enact the changes you see fit. To impact and to be impacted, and to figure out how to do those at the same time. But how do we do that? How do we semicolon or link up with the people, places, and things around us? How do we get here and realize that the environment we are in is full of magic and awe and issues and questions and conflicts that are in need of us, our hearts, our brains, our eyes, and our attention, that they're in need of you. That as of right now, you are a part of this sentence we call Washington University, and that as of right now, you have the opportunity and the challenge and the privilege to define what those very words mean, and in turn, how those words define you. WashU. It's this living, breathing, dynamic space. We give it our energy and our attitudes and whatever we have. We tread this campus and leave our footprints here. We create events and support causes and engage in dialogue. But with each step, Newton's third law of motion, for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. For every step you take, WashU pushes back, impacting who you are. I'm gonna hop back to grammar for a second. I think we focus on nouns too often. We look for our meaning in the whats. Up until about a year ago, I was really focused on titles, on labels, on nouns, on the whats. We all do it. I think it's a natural way to understand ourselves. And maybe that's how you have understood yourself too. You were the athlete, or the scholar, or the artist. The. I saw my worth and my ability to contribute through the titles I held, in what I did. And in many ways, I still do, but I think I've moved beyond just the whats. I'm coming to a place of hows and whys, beyond the nouns and into the adjectives. I know this grammar metaphor is intense, but just stay with me for a second. The adjectives: warm, inspired, conflicted, invigorated, open, challenged, flawed, and the list goes on, and I haven't stopped, and I'm still figuring those out. Whether in the roles I've served, like WUSA, or club president, or a friend, or a daughter, these apply. I've started to see value not just in what I do, but in how I act out those roles and the actions associated. Just over a year ago, I was working on a farm in England. I woke up every morning with the sun, I fed the animals, I worked in the field, and I wrote in my journal. I helped around the house and in the woods too, not necessarily the resume builder if I say so myself. And I got to know people while I was out there. Farmers, locals, anyone that stumbled onto this small farm in Dorset, England. And I remember the first conversation I had that summer. A middle-aged woman came to the farm to buy some vinegar. And as we started talking, I expected that she would ask what I studied. I got ready to tell her women, gender, and sexuality studies and anthropology, global health, and the environment. What a mouthful. And not only was I ready to tell her, I got so excited. Trust me, I do love talking about what I study. Come find me later. But she didn't ask about that. She didn't ask what I studied or what I wanted to do or, well, any what questions. She asked me why and how. Why was I here and how did I want to live my life? My gut reaction: tell her the nouns that I'm so used to recapping to people. On campus, I do X, Y, and Z. But that's not what she was looking for. She was looking for something else. She was looking for how those nouns became a part of me. That the only label I'll have forever, that one's Molly. And what does that role look like? So I made a list. I made a list of the activities I did, the things I studied, my on and off campus involvements. And under each title, each noun, if you will, I wrote out the qualities of a person who has that title, like RA, supportive, present, responsible, civic scholar, aware, critical, engaged. Then I made one more category on a separate page. I wrote Molly on top, the only title or noun or what that's permanent. And I started to move the qualities I associated with my other nouns under my own name, to start thinking about how what I did became a part of me. That when I graduate, which scarily enough I'm thinking about, those titles may disappear, but I'll have what the experiences gave me, the bits and pieces that went beyond the nouns and just became a part of me, a part of my permanent title, Molly. So when I try to figure out what I want to do or what I want to be, I will be sure of something. I will be sure of how I will do it. Whether I'm working on a farm or in a coffee shop or in an office on the 34th floor of a high-rise, I will do all of those things with warmth and with intention and with the ways my experiences have become a part of me. And when we start to move away from the boxes that we may have placed ourselves in, we have room to act in new ways, in ways to define and figuring out not just what you want to be, but who you want to be and how you want to live. Right now, more than ever, in the wake of hatred, of injustice, and oppressive divides and those ramifications, it's time to invest in those around you, invest in your community, and invest in this place. And that might mean leaving some boxes behind and stepping into some new ways of living, of listening, and of standing up. You may not have placed yourself in that box labeled activist or ally before now, but it's time to bring yourself here and act in ways that can set the stage for what this campus and this country could look like. You can both create yourself and create this community. So take on a new title and involve yourself and step up to the plate when your skills and talents are needed. inside and outside of the classroom, on and off campus. Join a club sport or take on a research position or do something crazy totally out of your comfort zone. But whatever you do, bring all of yourself. You are sitting here right now not because of what you have done, but because of how you have done it. And then remember Newton's third law, the you that's bringing change, let that you change too. When we focus on hows, we see ourselves and this campus and this city in new ways. Opportunities for meaning pop up everywhere. A walk in a new part of this city becomes significant. A slow thank you in line at Bear's Den becomes your own trademark. It's the way you lead your club meetings, checking in with each and every member before the agenda begins. Or the way you're walking, smiling at those you share the space with. Or maybe it's the way you look someone in the eye, ask how they're doing, and really, really listen. When the hows are what begins to matter, what happens? You become invested in those around you in a new way, in this city in a new way. You think critically about things that appear simple or automatic, like a street sign or a building structure or the stops on a metro. These things, they're not just what's anymore. It's about why they exist and how they impact the community and the role and responsibility you now have as a seer and a thinker. You step off of this campus and you learn from places that aren't labeled as classrooms. You look up to those not necessarily labeled as your leaders. And you begin to have an impact yourself in surprising and profound ways. So, welcome to St. Louis, welcome to WashU, and welcome to all of the unlabeled places and people and things you have yet to discover, you have yet to invest in, and you have yet to semicolon up with. And while you're here, I challenge you, look beneath the surface, look beyond the what's, look at your friends and your family and yourself with fresh eyes. Inspire and be inspired, create and be created. It's all part of the cycle. And then, all of a sudden, you recognize the opportunity for meaning and for impact and for influence everywhere you look. Everywhere you look, really, even in a semicolon. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Molly. These outstanding students are inspiring, and I'm grateful that we see a new generation of students coming to succeed them as new leaders. I'm going to present a symbol of our appreciation for these two leaders, Sydney and Molly. It is a case that holds the Washington University ring. There is no ring in here. Their rings have been ordered and are on their way. But I'd like Sydney and Molly to join me here and to receive these as a token of our appreciation.
Thank you so much.
Now we're going to turn to the academic associated with the academic convocation. It's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Holden Thorpe, Provost of Washington University. As Provost, Dr. Thorpe is our Chief Academic Officer. He has been a distinguished academic leader for many years, first at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. At UNC, he served as a faculty member in chemistry. He served as the Dean of Arts and Sciences and served as Chancellor for the 5 years preceding his appointment here as our Provost. He's now in his 5th year at Washington University, and he holds a faculty appointment in both medicine and chemistry, and holds the Rita Levi-Montalcini Distinguished University Professorship. This professorship was established to honor a woman who served on our faculty and received the Nobel Prize in Medicine or Physiology. Please welcome Provost Holden Thorpe, who will introduce our faculty presenter.
Thank you, Chancellor. Hello, Bears. Go. Bears. Go. Bears. That's what I'm talking about. That's awesome. Hello, everyone. I'm Holden Thorpe, and As the Chancellor said, I'm the Provost of the university. The Provost is the Chief Academic Officer, which means that I'm responsible for your classes, for student affairs, and for almost everything that's going to impact you when you're a student here. Our goal is for Washington University to be the best place to go to college in America. To reach that goal, we need to know when you see something that we could do better, when you see something that isn't quite right. Let us know. You can reach me by email, Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn. Or you can snap one of my kids and tell them that you want to talk to me. Now, before I introduce our speaker, I have one piece of advice for the parents and two pieces of advice for the students. Patty and I have one kid who just finished college and one who will come to WashU a year from now. She's on a gap year, so I know a little bit about what I'm talking about. So parents, listen carefully. Under no circumstances whatsoever should you watch Toy Story 3. I see some of you might accidentally have watched it before you came here tonight. So if it comes up on Netflix, just keep on scrolling right by there. Now, students, we have a great admissions director, and she's Ronée Turner, and she's here with us tonight. She did not make a mistake when she admitted you. Every single one of you belongs here and has what it takes to be successful. And if you're nervous about your academic work, remember that even though we all look very official up here with our robes and our stripes and our hoods and everything, we were all nervous the first week of college too. Now, the second piece of advice is that I hope while you're here, you'll be amazed. I hope you'll be amazed that Charles Darwin was not only a genius of observation and inductive reasoning, he was also science's greatest writer. I hope you'll be amazed that Martin Luther King Jr. could write and speak so timelessly and powerfully, even though he was abused, imprisoned, and eventually murdered. I hope you'll be amazed that William Inge and Tennessee Williams, two of our greatest playwrights born right here in St. Louis, created a new American language. And I hope you'll be amazed that Miles Davis, who was born just across the river in Alton, Illinois, used music to change the world. And tonight I want you to be amazed that this earth, this pale blue dot, our island home, exists in a cosmos governed by the laws of science. You have no better source of amazement than tonight's speaker. Dr. Ray Arvidson is the James S. McDonald Distinguished University Professor in the Department of Earth and Planetary Sciences and the Director of the Earth and Planetary Remote Sensing Laboratory at Washington University. He is also the Deputy Principal Investigator for the Mars Exploration Rover mission, as well as a member of the science team of the Curiosity rover mission of 2012. Yeah. Ray has received many awards in his career, including 3 NASA Public Service Medals, a Washington University Distinguished Faculty Award, the Washington University Advisor of the Year Award, the Missouri Governor's Award for Excellence in Teaching, the Student Union Professor of the Year Award, the Outstanding Graduate Faculty Mentor Award, the Arthur Holly Compton Award for Faculty Achievement, and the Whipple Award from the American Geophysical Union. And recently, Ray was inducted into the Williamstown High School Hall of Fame. What's the mascot of the Williamstown? What's your mascot? Williamstown High School is the Bears. How about that? Currently, Ray focuses on teaching and research about current and past environments on the Earth, Mars, and Venus. He has been instrumental in the development and implementation of both orbital and landed missions to the planets, including participation in the Magellan Radar Orbiter mission to Venus, team leader for the Viking Lander imaging system on Mars, member of the Project Science Group for the Mars Global Surveyor mission, deputy principal investigator for the highly successful Mars rover mission Spirit and Opportunity, the robotic arm co-investigator for the Mars Phoenix lander mission, and co-investigator for the hyperspectral mappers of the European Mars Express Orbiter and the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter. Folks, this is the real Han Solo and Captain Kirk. Give it up, everybody, for Ray Arvidsson.
Thank you, Holden. Actually, that introduction was longer than my talk. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Washington University and our academic community. Welcome, very hearty welcome from the faculty. Parents, your sons and daughters have chosen the right place. We are a pretty high-powered but medium-sized research university. We do a lot of research of world caliber, and we involve undergraduates fundamentally in research labs and all scholarly activities. You won't find too many other places that do this to the extent that we do. The faculty are excited to do this. Why? You guys are among the best in the country, the best in the world. And we really look forward to working with you. We really look forward to looking at your brains become crenulated with thoughts and ideas over the next 4 years, and to see you graduate and move on to great things. We've seen it in the past. I've been here for longer than some of your parents are in age, but that's another matter. I've seen many, many undergraduates and advised them, about 300 over the course of my career. They've gone on to be professors at Caltech, at Berkeley, at Bryn Mawr, at Georgetown, at Colorado, at Boston University, and places that I don't even remember. They're physicians. In fact, so many physicians, my wife and I think we can take many, many of our major organs and find one of our former students who specializes in that particular organ. Some would be a little creepy depending on the organ proper. They're lawyers, they're physical therapists, they're involved in business and in government in high positions. Matt Clausen, he's here as part of the council from Washington, D.C., the Alumni Council. He's an executive in the Environmental Protection Agency. He graduated about 10 years ago. In fact, believe it or not, Wyatt Fecht, one of my seniors, one of my advisees, is likely to become an Indian chief. That's the first of the 300 or 400 students that I've advised. So you guys are great, and we look forward to working with you. Now, Washington University has a motto. You probably don't know it. It has a Latin statement. It is per veritatem vis, and it means strength through truth. Be careful. It's a really important comment, really 3 important words that should take you through your 4 years. But don't reverse the order. Don't reverse the order to become truth through strength, which some of our politicians are doing as we speak. And that is using positions of power to develop truths that may or may not be evidentially correct, and using that position, that podium, to espouse them. Our motto is strength through truth. And ladies and gentlemen, that's the reason over the next 2 years in particular, we're going to make you take breadth courses. We're going to make you take courses in science, social science, humanities, language, and arts. Because you folks are the leaders of the nation in the future. You are the leaders of the world. And you need to have that breadth in addition to depth, in order to do your job properly. Now, what do? You know, as our provost said, on any given day, in my office, you're going to hear me on the telephone, and I'm talking to NASA engineers and other scientists, and we're commanding either the Opportunity rover or the Curiosity rover, which are robotically operated on the planet Mars, to do some traversing, to do some measurements. Opportunity is the world's oldest robotic rover still working. It landed in 2004 in January. It was scheduled or warranted for 6 months, and we're commanding it tomorrow. It's ancient. It is as old as me in terms of robot years. It's a little arthritic. The robotic arm no longer stores because most of the motors don't work. So when we drive, we just leave it hanging out like a fishing rod. We just have to be careful not to whack into rocks. And we're on the side of a ridge and going downhill in a channel that was likely carved by running water billions of years ago. Don't ask me when this vehicle is going to be out of warranty because you don't want to bet on it. It's just a well-made American vehicle that just keeps going and going. Curiosity is the new rover. It's the size of an automobile. It landed in August 2012. It landed dead on top of gravel rock, gravel that was produced in an ancient river. And the really neat thing about the red planet, it's super cold today. It's not a vacation spot, incredibly dry. But if you look back billions of years ago, it was as warm and wet as the Earth is today. And it preserves a period of time with rocks when life started on the Earth. Very poorly preserved on Earth because it's so active. On Mars, it's all there. And that's the reason we're exploring the planet. It looks to have been habitable early in geologic time. And the key question is whether or not life got started and evolved, at least at the microbial level. Here's the crazy thing. Meteorites have been exchanged between Mars and the Earth throughout geologic time. Comets and asteroids whack into both planets, cast off material that go into orbit about the sun, and it's collected by either Earth or Mars. I noticed the blue section over there, there was one creature that came in that looked like a whale. Some of us might have Martian heritage. And he's a key example, even without the head. No, seriously though, so am I a science nerd? The answer is yes. But do I know anything else? I have to. Because to be successful in my business, my enterprise, I have to be able to communicate by writing. I have to be able to communicate orally. I have to work on an international level. Consider this. The nations exploring Mars include Russia, China, Japan, India, and 12 nations in Western Europe that comprise the European Space Agency. The United Arab Emirates is building a Mars orbiter, all robotic. And all these nations are eventually thinking about putting humans on the planet. It's all because of the early geologic time and the likely habitable conditions and the possibility for life. And Chancellor, if you invite me back to a convocation in 20 years, I'll have the answer about life and habitability on the red planet. The point is that to actually be successful in any endeavor, you have to know more than your depth, more than your discipline. You really have to go in and have breadth. That's the reason that we make you take, and you should enjoy taking and engage courses that are in a range of disciplines, particularly in the freshman and sophomore years. Now, in advising many, many freshmen, there are some things that are kind of points that I'd like to make for you, takeaway points or punchlines. One is, you've been well prepared for college, for high school. You ain't seen nothing yet. Wait till the first exams in October. If you think you're happy and jubilant, the whole tenor of the dorms goes down. And the reason is, you're going to be hit just like a 2x4 in the head with the amount of work that you've never envisioned. And there won't be a mom and dad there every day. They'll probably call you every day, particularly in the first couple months until they get tired of it. But you don't have people on top of you making sure you do your work. Keep up with your work. Your big problem the first semester leaking into the second semester will be time management. Don't let the work pile up. The second point is we have an academic community that you should take advantage of. They're your teachers, your advisors, your mentors, and your fellow students. If you run into problems with time management, seek help and get yourself back on track. Everybody has a tough freshman first semester. Everybody does. It happens every year. It's happened since the 70s, since I've been here. I'll make one last point. I've advised a lot of students in August and September, freshmen coming in to college, to university. We sit down. Some really don't know what they want to major in. That's okay. Freshman year is one of exploration. You want to take some courses that prepare you for a possible major, but you also want to explore. Other students come in, say, Professor Arvidsson, these are the courses I'm going to take for the 4 years. I don't know why you're making me take breadth courses, so we go through that. And here's where I want to go to medical school. And here's where I want to do residency. And here's where I want to work, and here's my retirement plan. What happens by the end of the first semester, they come back in and say, I have no idea what I want to do anymore. 2 reasons. One is they've been through a tough semester, but more importantly, they're exposed to ideas and concepts and disciplines they've never thought of before. The good news, freshmen, is it all comes to closure in the summer, about this time next year, and you got a better focus on where you want to go. It may have nothing to do with your thoughts of where you're going right now. My point to you is, don't worry about it. Let your parents worry. It will all come to be. It will all be good. Freshman year, you need to explore, get that breadth in addition to depth. So again, my welcome, the faculty's welcome to our academic family, and get rid of the parents in a few days, and then eat us alive. We have things that you've never seen before, concepts and areas you've never dealt with before that you need to take advantage of. You're some of the best and the brightest, and we really look forward to working with you. Thank you.
Ray Arvidsson is a great academic leader. Provost Thorpe introduced him as the holder of the James S. McDonald Distinguished University Professorship, and he has been a vital contributor for many years, as you've heard. He has had a stunningly great academic career, and as now you know, we are controlling those unmanned exploratory vehicles on Mars. This is a research university where learning and discovery are both vital. Here you're going to receive the gift of knowledge, and it's my hope that Washington University will illuminate the truth for you and light your path through life. To symbolize your illuminated path, your parents will soon be asked to leave and literally light your path to the Brookings Quadrangle. This is a bit of a tradition for us. Ultimately, after the parents are in place, ready to illuminate your path, the students here will proceed to the quadrangle, and the special treat will be Ted Drew's frozen custard, and we'll listen to some music. As I said at the outset to this academic convocation, all of the students will be in the quadrangle. Parents will meet them there. The next time that the class of 2021 will gather in the quadrangle will be for commencement in the spring of 2021. Now, I just want to do something small to wrap up. It's a personal privilege that I'm going to take. You can all see yourselves on Twitter later. It is such a joy to be Chancellor. I wish everybody had the privilege that I do to see so many talented people gathered in one place here at Washington University in St. Louis. I'd now like to ask the students to remain, and the parents, please make your way to illuminate the path to the Brookings Quadrangle. To those who are watching in the Danforth University Center, Edison Theater, May Auditorium, please make your way to the path as well. We'll see the parents ultimately in the quadrangle. Students, please remain seated. Students, before you know it, you're going to be graduates of Washington University. I mentioned the next time you'll be in the quadrangle after tonight is commencement in 2021. To illustrate that it can be done, I have a very distinguished alumnus to address you very briefly. It's the chair of the Alumni Board of Governors, Steve Siegel. He received a Bachelor of Science degree in Business Administration from our Olin School of Business in 1982. He has served in numerous volunteer roles and now serves, as I say, as chair of the Alumni Board of Governors. Our alumni number approximately 130,000 people living all around the world. In his current capacity, he also serves as a member of the Board of Trustees. Steve and his wife, Ellen, who is also a Washington University graduate, live in Boston. They are proud parents of 2 Washington University alumni, Ryan and Lindsay, and their daughter, Samantha, will be a junior this year. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Stephen G. Siegel, Chair of the Alumni Board of Governors.
Thank you very much, Chancellor. To the newest members of our Washington University community, transfer students, future alumni, and the class of 2021, on behalf of the 130,000 member Alumni Association, welcome. This community is genuine, intelligent, curious, and caring. You were carefully selected to nurture and contribute to its character. No small responsibility given the events of the world today. In 1978, I sat where you're sitting today, and I didn't know it, but can you guess who was in the same gym with me? The Chancellor already referenced it. It was my wife. So look around. Your future forever after may be sitting very close to you. Yes, it's Bachelor in Paradise here without all the swimsuits and drama. That's just one example of how your time here will enrich you in ways you cannot imagine, and which will last you a lifetime. Your professors and classmates will forever change how you view the world and how you view yourselves. You knew how lucky you were the day you received your acceptance letter. Admission standards are so high and so many seem so complicated. But did you know that upperclassmen would be schlepping your bags to your rooms today? How many of you knew that Chancellor Wrighton would be wandering around greeting students and their families? During move-in, I hope you begin to see just the tip of the iceberg of how lucky you are that this is your university. Yes, the South 40 looks like Disney World, but that's not what makes this place special. The admissions office recruits nice people. I know that sounds ridiculous, but this is a stated goal. I don't know how they do this, but this is their actual objective. And it's why the people sitting in this room today will become some of your closest friends for life and your support network while you're here. These nice people graduate and they become alums. And for the rest of your lives, you can join that network also. We're here to support you financially and through making connections. We provide scholarships and even subsidize full-pay tuition students because the cost of a college education isn't covered by full tuition. Your experience here and throughout your lifetime will no doubt be enriched by a peer whose opportunity to be here came from a scholarship from our alumni. At WashU, we have a strong culture of giving back, large and small, to future generations of WashU students. Tonight, I have the honor of presenting a special gift to the class of 2021, your class banner. As you exit, you will follow behind it for the first time as a class on your way to the Brookings Quadrangle. I would like to ask Jordi Gonzalez to come to the stage to present the class banner. Jordi was the winner of the class of 2021 logo design contest. She is joined by her classmate, Asa Kalish. Jordi joins us from Omaha, Nebraska, and Asa is from Oakland, California, and Jordi is living in Umrath. And Asa is living in Thomas Elliott House. Jordi, congratulations on this very wonderful design. We are very fortunate to have someone as talented as you join the WashU community. And Jordi and Asa, as you head to the Brookings Quad, I hope you carry this banner proudly and think about the remarkable journey that you're about to begin. You came in with your parents, you'll be leaving with your classmates, and whenever you come together as a class, including commencement and reunions, this banner will be present. And finally, I'll just tell you a brief story. Earlier today, I overheard two seniors talking to each other. And one of them pointed to a group of you moving in and said, "I'm so jealous of these guys." And the other one said, "Why are you jealous? They look a little confused and lost." And he said, "Well, they have 4 years here, and we only have 1. You're among the luckiest and most impressive students in the world, and we are very lucky that you joined our WashU family. So on behalf of the Alumni Administration, we wish you all the best that WashU offers."
Okay, I think your parents are close to where they need to be. But before you go, for a number of you, there's a special surprise. Look under your seat and see if there's an envelope. That's an invitation to a bowling party at my residence on Monday. Did anybody find one? Okay. My wife and I will look forward to seeing you on Monday evening. And now, here are the instructions. Please remain seated. Professor Ray Arvinson and I will lead the procession to the quadrangle. Many of you will not be able to see this, but each of us will be holding a real torch, symbolizing this being the torch of knowledge which we pass to you. So please remain seated until the stage principals have recessed, and then you will be assisted by the student associates to help you get to the quadrangle. Thank you all very much. Ray, join me.
Thanks, chaps. Cool. I'll take care of you for a minute.
Thank you.